The room was dead silent for just a split second before the explosion of noise happened, and honestly, you could feel the tension through the screen as the Indiana Fever stood on the clock for pick 10. Fans were holding their breath thinking maybe, just maybe, they would grab some size to help Aaliyah Boston in the paint, because we all saw those injury concerns late last season, and everyone knew they desperately needed front court depth after a rough stretch of games. But then the announcement came, and the name echoed through the draft hall: Raven Johnson, the South Carolina point guard. And the internet did not just react, it had an absolute total meltdown because the reaction was immediate and brutal. Within minutes, the comments were flooded with people calling it the wrong fit, saying the team needed a backup center, and honestly, that was my first reaction too. Caitlin Clark just got a new teammate that the world thinks she should hate. And the people calling her a luxury pick are completely missing the point. If you stay until the end of this video, you will find out why the media narrative around Caitlin Clark is built on a half-truth, the one statistic that completely changes how you see this draft controversy, and the real reason why what happens to Clark right now is bigger than basketball. Quick note before we dive in, everything you're about to hear is based on publicly available information, verified reports, and our own film and data analysis. This channel is not affiliated with Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever, or the Women's National Basketball Association. All opinions expressed are for entertainment and informational purposes only. To understand why this pick is so polarizing, you have to go back to the 2024 National Championship game between South Carolina and Iowa. If you know the history between these two players, the choice to put them on the same team is absolutely fascinating. Just over a year ago, Raven Johnson did something that almost nobody in college basketball could do. She put the best point guard in the country, Caitlin Clark, in absolute jail. She held her to 5 out of 20 shooting when she was switched onto her. It was a defensive masterclass where Raven suffocated her, giving her no separation and making sure every single shot was contested and uncomfortable. And she did it all without fouling, without losing her composure, and without letting the pressure of the biggest stage get to her head. That is the kind of elite point-of-attack defense that translates to any level, but for Indiana fans, seeing the girl who locked up their superstar suddenly becoming her teammate felt like a punch in the gut. But here is where it gets complicated and honestly kind of messy. The Fever just signed Ty Harris as their backup point guard in free agency just the day before. They already have Caitlin Clark locked in as the starter. They are already the smallest team in the league, and they just added another 5'9" guard whose offensive game is still a massive work in progress. On paper, this move looks like absolute lunacy. You have fans like Raymond Rodriguez saying that Raven can never replace the production of Clark or Mitchell, and that the team is just collecting short guards while the coach Stephanie White is talking about slowing the game down and playing Caitlin off the ball. There is a real fear among the fan base that the coaching staff is trying to demote Caitlin to a role-playing position or turn her into a forward instead of the point guard we all know she is. Some fans are so upset they are saying they are done with the team entirely until they see the ball back in Caitlin's hands as the number MOT player on the roster. So why would the front office do this? Why would they risk alienating their entire fan base? It all comes down to a new, brutal financial reality called the epic provision in the collective bargaining agreement. This is the part nobody is talking about on the highlight reels, but it is the key to everything. The epic provision gives automatic max contracts to players who make the All-Women's National Basketball Association teams. Last season, both Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston made all-league teams, while Caitlin was not eligible for that max jump. In 2025, she will be eligible in 2026. We are looking at a max salary of $1 million on top of Aaliyah Boston's own max contract. When you add those high numbers together, the Fever's salary cap is basically going to vanish into thin air. They are looking at a future where they might come even be able to afford to keep this current roster together once Caitlin gets that massive pay jump. This is why Kelsey Mitchell is on a MOT year Supermax deal and Lexi Hull is on a MOT year deal. Multiple core rotation players are on these short contracts because the team needs to stay flexible for the cap crunch that is coming. Raven Johnson, on a rookie contract, is not just a player, she is an insurance policy. If Kelsey Mitchell decides to walk in free agency next year, because Indiana simply cannot afford her under the new cap, the team needs someone who can develop into a scoring threat and a defender off the bench right now. If they lose rotation players to those cap constraints, they need cheap young talent that is ready to step into those minutes. It is a massive gamble because it assumes the team can win right now with huge holes in the roster while they try to develop players for a future that is come even here yet. And then there is the drama happening behind the scenes that just adds fuel to the fire. The same day as the draft news broke that Temi Fagbenle signed a MOT $1 million contract with the Toronto Tempo. $1 million for a role player who averaged Sow Point high points and Bond Point rebounds last year. It sounds insane until you hear the reports from people like Scott Agnes who mentioned there were locker room issues with Temi. It was come major drama that destroyed the team, but communication problems because Temi is apparently very direct and blunt, and that rubbed some people the wrong way. That is why the Fever did not protect her in the expansion draft and let her walk. But when role players are getting $1 trillion deals from expansion teams like Toronto, established teams like Indiana are getting squeezed from every direction. The whole league's salary structure is shifting, and Indiana is trying to get ahead of it. Some fans, like Esmeralda 90 Mott, believe the Fever aren't even behind Caitlin anymore and are just preparing for her to leave. There are even darker theories from users like WeatherDog70 who think Stephanie White hates Caitlin and that the goal is to make her quit the league by demoting her to a role player. Richard West Q88WW claims the effort to force Caitlin out is still going strong and that the divide between the coach and the star is too great to survive another season. But let's talk about the basketball side of Raven Johnson for a second, because that is where the real potential lies if you can get past the frustration. This is a girl who was waived by the Seattle Storm in 2023, went back to Trung, and completely turned her game around. Her Bay point percentage jumped significantly because she spent an entire off-season in the gym SEU that rejection. She is not someone who is going to be outworked. Keban asks her what she brings to the table. She does come give you a generic answer. She talks about defense tenacity and being a gnat. Key it comes to stealing the ball. She flat out says she will do whatever it takes to win. That is, come just coach speak, that is her identity as a player. And Trung a locker room with Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston setting a championship-level standard, that mentality is exactly what Ban want. Raven is already talking about how excited she is to play with Caitlin, calling her a phenomenal player with a winning mentality. She is looking forward to being taken under the wing of Aaliyah Boston, her former teammate, and learning from veterans like Ty Harris. The Fever are betting everything on the Caitlin Clark effect. Chungta have already seen how Caitlin's gravity as a shooter and a playmaker transforms everyone around her. Look at Lexi Hull. Her perimeter defense was critical to the Fever's playoff run last NUM. Key Lexi was on the court with Caitlin opposing guards, could come get comfortable. But more importantly, Lexi's Bay point percentage skyrocketed to elite levels because she was playing alongside Caitlin. She went to shooting high 19%. He Caitlin sat to ba 19%. He they shared the court. The Fever are hoping they can do the same thing for Raven Johnson. New Raven can bring that, cum defensive intensity, Trunky learning to hit the open Bay points that Caitlin creates this pick, suddenly looks like a stroke of genius. Raven has taught Hun defensive tools than almost anyone Caitlin has played voice so far. Drama Sungkwen this draft is come just about the players on the Sun. It is about the emotional investment for the fans who have been there to the beginning. Ban have people like Julie Gross, Hai Mui Sao Tam Mui Chin, who travel all the way to Florida just to zam a home game Trung, Indiana. How are spending $100 tren a single trip? Or up to $100 hi ha mang tao their bay granddaughters along. These are people who are fueling the explosive growth của the league, and who feel like their voices aren't being nghe thay. He has Sam a coaching strategy that moves Caitlin away to the point guard position don't just Sam a tactical shift Sam a betrayal của the very thing paid to Chunkin. Want to Sam the ball trung her hands, want to Sam the logo bay points, and want to Sam her leading the floor. Key Stephanie White talks slowing the game down to a fan who just spent thousands of dollars. To them high-octane bungro, it feels like the team is intentionally putting the brakes tren a generational talent. This disconnect due the front office and the fan base is where the real Tron Kai lies. The internet had a meltdown Pick Mui felt like a missed opportunity to get big. The Fever were already the smallest team trong the league last season, and yet Ho went out and drafted another guard who is numb foot chin. Motso fans are pointing out that their current camp roster has only MOT true center and BACE forwards, compared to Tom guards. Ho are asking, Lambda now this team is supposed to compete for the size của the Las Vegas Aces, hey the New York Liberty trung the playoffs, Ki Ha are consistently being outsized trend the glass. New Aaliyah Boston has to choi monster minutes again and ends up for another injury concern. AI is going to step up trong the paint. The strategy Dungyu to be that Ho can outrun and outshoot everyone. Nyung fans are worried that being small and slow is a recipe cho disaster. Yet the front office Ra Rang believes Trung Raven Johnson's championship pedigree. Koei wasn't just a role player Thai South Carolina. Koei was the floor general cho an undefeated team that made it to the final bon. Koei has a bung row IQ that is through the roof, and Koei knows Lambda now to win Thai the highest level. He Koei nai, Koei is a gnat, it comes to stealing the ball, Koei means it. Koei is a defensive specialist. I can suffocate opposing point guards. And that is a skill that translates to the pro-level new. The player has the intelligence to adjust to the speed and strength to the WNBA. New, the plan is Cho Caitlin Clark to lead the first unit and Cho Raven Johnson to run the second unit. It could give the Fever a defensive identity that HO simply didn't call last num. Hey Tung Tung, the pressure trend an opposing team, Kiha have to deal with Caitlin's offense ja bamui minutes, and then Raven's lockdown defense ja the other mui. Nyung hai be real ve the risks here. Raven Johnson averaged only bay points moi game as a senior. Trong the WNBA, there không phải là a lot room to players I can't contribute. Trin cả hai do sung chu Kiha are absolutely elite, tai một specific thing. New Koei remains a non-threat. Offensively, teams will just sag off her and double-team Caitlin, Aaliyah, making the Fever's offense even harder to execute. The bet Indiana is making is that Ho can develop her offensive game. Jongnu Ha did với Lexi Hull. Ha believe that trong their system, due the gravity của Caitlin Clark, Raven will timte the space Koei needs to become a scoring threat. It is a massive gamble dakbiet. Kiban considering the team was mot overtime game away to the WNBA Finals last season. Sujung, a first-round pick tren a project player, Taivi, an immediate contributor, la the kind kua decision that, Huakla makes a general manager look Jongnu a genius, hey, gets Ho fired. Trenkai kung touches tren the broader state kua the league. The new salary structure is creating a world no expansion teams. Jongnu te Toronto Tempo can throw massive amounts của money Thai role players. Viha are desperate to be competitive immediately. Dune puts established teams Jongnu te Fever trung a terrible position. Ha có thể stars nhưng ha can't afford the supporting cast. The epic provision la a looming shadow tren my decision ha make. Nếu họ keep Kelsey Mitchell trên A Supermax, họ might lose their ability to sign AI khác của value khi Caitlyn's contract jumps. Đây là why the roster là full của một năm deals. Họ are essentially playing a game của financial musical chairs, and who are hoping rằng khi the music stops trong 2020 sau, who are the ones left với a championship caliber team. So all the numbers and the cap space có a human element to this story that is just as compelling. Raven Johnson là a winner A has already proven cô A can vượt qua adversity sau being waived some trong her career. Cô A has pro habits and a bubbly personality rang her former teammate, Aaliyah Boston, absolutely loves. Trong the locker room, that kind của chemistry là invaluable. New cô A can integrate vào the culture rang Caitlyn and Aaliyah are building the fever could become Honhun just a collection của talented individuals. Ho could become a cohesive unit, rang plays với a chip trên its shoulder. Raven's defensive tenacity không phải là just a skill. It is a mindset, and it is the kind của mindset rang can infect an entire team and lift their overall intensity. Cuối cùng, the Indiana Fever are making a choice to ưu tiên the long-term future của the franchise hơn immediate gratification. Họ believe rằng the core của Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston là strong due to keep Ho competitive, trong khi họ phát triển the next generation của talent xung quanh họ. Nó là an incredibly difficult balance to strike, and most teams rang try to do cả hai, end up doing neither well. Nhưng the Fever aren't most teams. Họ có a player trong Caitlin Clark I has already shown cô A can elevate an toàn bộ franchise to a lottery team to a contender trong a single season. Họ are betting rang her gravity là strong due to pull my two together to the salary cap, to the defensive rotations. Khi chúng ta head vào the 20-25 season mỗi eyes, CB trên Indiana. Mỗi minute Raven Johnson spends trên the sun, CB scrutinized. Mỗi shot Caitlin Clark takes, C be analyzed. Và mỗi decision Stephanie White makes C be debated, boy, fans and critics alike. This pick là, hoặc là going to look, giống như the move rang secured a dynasty, hey, the mistake rang wasted a championship window. Có không middle ground ở đây, và thật là chính xác why. Nó là so fascinating to xem unfold. Cho dù bạn là a die-hard Fever fan hay just a casual observer của the game ban, have to appreciate the sheer audacity của this strategy. Vượt qua thế bóng rổ. Caitlin Clark's story teaches chúng ta something. Chúng ta can all sử dụng trong our own lives. Pressure không build champions. Làm thế nào bạn respond to pressure mới làm được. Clark walked vào a league rang was không ready cho her carried expectations, không rookie, nên ever có to carry, và cô ấy vẫn showed up mỗi single night. Đó không phải là just a sports story, nó là a blueprint cho làm thế nào to handle being the target của everyone's scrutiny. Trong a world rang wanted cô A to be perfect từ ngày một her real superpower không phải là her shooting range, nó là her willingness to be imperfect trong public và keep going anyway. Khi an toàn bộ system dường như designed to slow bạn down và the crowd vẫn shows up cho bạn anyway, đó không phải là luck. Đó là proof rằng doing the work cuối cùng speaks louder hơn bất kỳ tranh cãi nào. Caitlin did không silence her critics by arguing. Cô ấy silenced họ by playing. Và bây giờ cô ấy has to do nó all over again với a new team dynamic rang is testing her leadership once more. Vì vậy bạn nghĩ gì về tất cả điều này? Có phải Indiana đã đưa ra quyết định hoàn toàn đúng đắn khi lấy Raven ở vị trí số 10 để chuẩn bị cho tương lai, hay họ nên tìm kiếm sự trợ giúp ngay lập tức ở hàng tiền đạo? Nếu Caitlin Clark đã từng mang đến cho bạn một khoảnh khắc khiến bạn phải nhảy khỏi ghế sofa, hãy thả một biểu tượng bóng rổ vào phần bình luận ngay bây giờ. Hãy cho cô ấy thấy có bao nhiêu người đang đồng hành cùng cô ấy. Và hãy cho chúng tôi biết bạn có nghĩ Caitlin Clark nhận được sự đối xử công bằng từ giải đấu, từ giới truyền thông và từ các đồng nghiệp không? Hãy để lại quan điểm thành thật của bạn ở bên dưới vì chúng tôi đọc từng bình luận một và chúng tôi không xóa các ý kiến. Mỗi bình luận đều giúp câu chuyện này tiếp cận được nhiều người hâm mộ thể thao hơn, những người xứng đáng được nghe bức tranh đầy đủ, không chỉ là những dòng tiêu đề. Vì vậy, nếu bạn nghĩ sự thật là quan trọng, hãy tạo ra một chút tiếng vang ngay lúc này. Bây giờ bạn đã biết toàn bộ câu chuyện về những gì thực sự đang diễn ra xung quanh Caitlin Clark. Nhưng có một cầu thủ mà hành trình của cô ấy khiến cuộc tranh luận này trông giống như chỉ là một bước khởi động. Tôi đã thực hiện một video về điều đó và tin tôi đi, bạn không muốn bỏ lỡ nó đâu. Nó ngay ở đó trên màn hình của bạn. Nếu câu chuyện của Clark khiến bạn phải suy nghĩ, hãy chờ cho đến khi bạn nghe thấy những gì Angel Reese thực sự đã trải qua ở phía sau hậu trường. Video đó đang ở trên màn hình của bạn ngay bây giờ.